What's up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess, and I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick'em plays for Tuesday, August 6, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DAILYDOG, DAILYDOG. That's one word at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a deposit match bonus worth up to $250. All right, I'm sorry I'm losing my voice here. I've been traveling a ton this weekend. There's a bunch of delays. I got in the middle of the night on Monday, so I am running on E, so I'm going to try to keep this to a very crisp and short 10 minutes here because, like I said, my voice is almost gone, and this is probably not that fun to listen to, so I'll get right into the picks. We are going to start out with Trea Turner, higher than 1.5 total bases versus his former team, the Dodgers, and Clayton Kershaw, that lefty for the Dodgers. When Turner's total bases number is at 1.5, I said it about a month ago. If it's at 1.5, you need to look at it if it's a flat multiplier, just because of the way that he makes so much contact. Obviously, he has the power. Obviously, he's got great speed running the bases. And Clayton Kershaw has not been great in his 2 starts back this year. He's allowed 12 hits in just 7.2 innings played with 1 double, 1 triple, and a home run. So the extra base hits have definitely been available for the opposing batters. And it's just when a guy plays against their old team, Trea kind of came to the Dodgers for one season, kind of unceremoniously let go. I have a feeling that he's going to leave his mark on at least one game in this series, and him being a righty versus the lefty, Clayton Kershaw, is a good spot for him to actually make that impact. He wants to remind the people in LA that, hey, I mean, he can remind the people that they were looking for a shortstop for a little bit too long before Mookie made that transition. So again, it's a good spot for him to get over 1.5 total bases here. He can get a couple singles. He can go yard at any point in the game. Obviously, Dodger Stadium, weather's always nice. The ball is always going to fly well in the summer months. So I really like Trea here, and you're getting a 1.1x scorcher multiplier, which I think is crazy value because, again, Clayton Kershaw has not been himself in his return, and he might never be himself again, given that he is definitely up in age at this point in his career, and it has been a rough go so far in his comeback. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him versus this Phillies lineup, so I am happy to start the slip-off with Trea. Next, I'm going to go to one of the hottest hitters in baseball, which is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., higher than 1.5 total bases versus the Orioles and Grayson Rodriguez. The guy has been hot. He's still hot. He's had higher than 1.5 total bases in 8 of his last 10 games. He's done in 3 consecutive games. His last series, which was last week versus the Orioles, he was higher than 1.5 total bases in 3 out of those 4 games. And then also, just versus Rodriguez, his last 3 games that he's played with Rodriguez as the opposing starting pitcher, he's had higher than 1.5 total bases in 3 consecutive games. And again, this is a 1.1x scorcher, so we're getting massive value here for a guy who can get multiple singles and a guy who obviously has a ton of power. And the doubles can happen, although obviously Vladdy isn't going to beat anybody or isn't going to surprise anybody with his speed. But again, I just think that the value is way too high for a guy who sees the ball well versus Rodriguez, a guy who's seeing the ball in general well right now, and a guy who has that one swing power to get this thing over in the first inning if he finds the right pitch. So these 2 plays together, this is just a 2-leg slip, and it's a 3.63x multiplier. Earlier on the show, I was doing 3-leg slips every day, and a lot of those were around 3.63. So again, I just think I found a lot of good value with these 2 guys here. So Trea Turner, higher than 1.5 total bases. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., higher than 1.5 total bases for a 3.363x multiplier is the show slip. I'm going to take a minute to talk about what's going on at Underdog right now. So if you haven't signed up yet, sign up with promo code DAILYDOG, DAILYDOG, at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $250. And if you've not signed up for Underdog yet, what are you doing? If you're betting on sports, if you're playing pick'em elsewhere, you might as well take advantage of that plus money. And we're right around the corner from football season. I've spent a couple minutes in the last few episodes talking about sorry, we got a cat jumping up on the desk, but I've talked about the best ball leagues that Underdog has, which I think you should definitely get involved in. I think it's one of the most fun formats of fantasy football there is. But also, they've got week 1 specials. They're cycling through them, week or day after day, week after week. They're adding more of these. And right now they've got Colts Texans promos right now, and those are Anthony Richardson to have higher than 183.5 passing yards, which is down from 209.5. C.J. Stroud, 247.5 passing yards, down from 271.5. And Jonathan Taylor, 59.5 rush yards, down from 75.5. And finally, Stephon Diggs, receiving yards, down to 48.5 from 63.5 in week 1. I think all 4 of these are viable places to start a slip. But for me personally, my favorite one is Stephon Diggs. He wants to make an impact with his new team. And 48.5 yards is basically 3 catches for that guy. I think that he's going to probably see at least 7 targets in this game. Obviously, he's not going to be the lone reception monster like he kind of was for Josh Allen and the Bills. But again, I think that Nico Collins, obviously awesome player. Tank Dell, high potential, good player there. Joe Mixon can catch a couple balls out of the backfield. But again, I just think Stephon Diggs is going to want to make an impact early. I think that there's going to be a concerted effort by this Texans team to make sure Stephon Diggs is active. So higher than 48.5 rush yard or receiving yards in week 1 of this NFL season seems like a great spot to build a slip. Maybe choose a player from your favorite team. Maybe choose something else that you find is totally off market on the underdog board and get going with your NFL season with a winner by taking advantage of these promo discounts available on underdog.com. And again, I always say that you should use a underdog deposit bonus code like Daily Dog to get that extra money to play with, and then use that extra money to play with on a promo slip. Double down on the positive EV, because again, your expected value is going to go up way higher. If you're getting 50% deposit match bonus, you're getting 50% more opportunity to win, depending on how you budget your slips. And also, when you do these these promo slips, you're enhancing your likelihood of winning by so much, because again, 48.5 to 63.5 is a 15-yard difference. That is a full catch for Stephon Diggs, and it's a big catch. 15 yards is pretty good. So Stephon Diggs is where I'm looking right now for this week 1 special on Underdog. Use promo code DailyDog to do it. And without further ado, let's get to the Dong Squad, which is the most fun part of the day. I love sweating out these at-bats when guys are swinging, when guys are at the plate, and I'm just hoping that they make a good connection and get the ball over the wall. I'm going to be starting out with Matt Olson just because I like to fade Colin Ray. Colin Ray allowed 2 home runs versus the Braves in his last start against them. That one was up in Milwaukee. This one's down in Atlanta. We'll get a little bit of wind to the outfield. I don't think it's anything major. I don't think it should affect anything too much. But again, Matt Olson, he's a 3x multiplier right here, which is just crazy because, Matt Olson, not this year, but historically has been one of the best home run hitters, or not historically, but over the last few years, he's been one of the best home run hitters in all of Major League Baseball. Getting a 3x multiplier versus a guy like Colin Ray who allows that hard contact and is a righty versus Matt Olson being a lefty seems like a great value spot to start out this slip. Next, I'm going to put on a guy that lost our slip yesterday, Marcus Semien, who didn't have higher than 1.5 total bases, but I am taking him to get a home run versus Framber Valdez and the Astros. Semien is obviously, a contact hitter, but he's batting 3rd in the order nowadays pretty regularly because he does have power. He is a guy that can hit 20-plus home runs in a game or in a season. In a game would be something else, but in a season. And I think that, again, Framber Valdez, he's done it twice versus him before. Valdez is a contact hitter. Semien is a guy that gets power through contact. He obviously isn't a monstrous 6'6" guy at the plate. He's a guy that swings well, gets the sweet spot of the bat on the ball, gets the right launch angle, and he can take advantage of these, get to the left field pole and get a ball over the wall that isn't necessarily hit as hard. It's not going to have 120 mile per hour exit velocity like O'Neal Cruz or something like that. But I think Semien, and it's a 4.5x multiplier. Again, it's a really great value versus a guy has a proven ability to go long against. Lastly, we're going to go with a chalky guy. And it's a kind of a win-adverse situation. Win should be coming in at Yankee Stadium, but I'm still taking Aaron Judge to have higher than a home run against Davis Daniel and the Angels. One, I doubt the wind is going to be consistently 15 miles per hour blowing in for the full game. 2, Davis Daniel's a young pitcher who might get cocky and try to test Aaron Judge, which is obviously never a good idea. And 3, the bullpen for the Angels is totally depleted. They traded all their valuable bullpen pieces. So Aaron Judge is going to be live in this game as the deeper it goes. the more live he's going to be. He's also on pace again to maybe approach an AL record for home runs. So he's going to be taking at bats late in this game, probably regardless of the score. So again, Aaron Judge is the final leg of the Dong Squad slip. So those three guys, Matt Olson, Marcus Semien, and Aaron Judge, on a flex play. If it goes 3 for 3, it's 60.75x return on your money. If it goes 2 out of 3, it's 13.5x. Great value on all those guys. And then I'll just finish off with the show slip one last time. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., higher than 1.5 total bases. And our guy, Trea Turner, higher than 1.5 total bases versus the Dodgers for a 3.63x multiplier. That's all I've got. Let's make some money.